I'd like to thank our sponsors for this. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Another podcast. I know you're thinking, oh, you've been doing a lot of friggin' podcasts lately. Yeah, you're right. It's my channel. I do what I want. Either way, a guest today, Randy, my brother.
How's it going?
Flew from Texas.
Just for this.
Yeah.
I'm going home later today.
Yeah. We comped it. It's his whole trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, he flew up. We have a little bit of time, so we're squeezing out this quick podcast, and so here we are. Let's get into it, huh?
Okay.
So Randy wants to talk about...
Whoa. Randy wants to talk about...
What? That's what he said.
I thought this was your podcast and you do what you want.
Well, yeah, you're right. I want to talk about, and Randy also agreed to talk about, advice, right?
Okay.
And so I told him that I wanted to go to LA to be an actor, or try to be an actor, or wherever. It doesn't have to be LA, it's somewhere to be a friggin' actor. That's what I'm going to do. And he told me...
Yeah, so basically what I said was just that, live the dream if you want to live the dream, or give that dream a shot. And now the time is the time to do it. So you don't have any bills, don't have any family right now or anything like that. But in my opinion, it'll be a failure, or you'll have a chance of looking at it as a failure if, let's say you did it for 10 years and you look back and think to yourself, well, if I would have done it for 5, I would have felt just as accomplished as I do right now. And you basically wasted 5 years of your life. So being able to be aware, self-aware of hey, I've given it a shot and I feel like I've given it a legitimate shot, and knowing when it's just not going to happen and starting your life from there is what's important, which is easier said than done. In the moment, you always feel like, oh, I'm this close, right? I'm this close, just one break, because that's really what it is with acting. It takes one break, exactly. One person. I think I just heard the story the other day that Chris Pratt was on a beach in Mexico or something like that.
Yeah,
Somebody just
and
walked by.
This lady's like, hey, do you act? And he's like, yep.
Are you going to pay me?
Yeah,
I'm there.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
I think that's how we got on Parks and Rec. Yeah, no, but I think what you said was self-awareness was important.
Yeah.
For that, which is, like you said, easier said than done.
Yeah, it's hard to be self-aware. I mean, that's why a lot of people can't do it. You need somebody outside sources telling you what's actually happening. But it's a quality, self-aware and being self-motivated and self-teaching. Because if you're self-aware, you're also going to be able to probably be a better actor. Yeah. Because if you can understand what it is that you're doing and what needs to be changed about that stuff, right, and be self-aware about it, you're probably going to go really far instead of having to pay, a stupid amount of money for somebody to tell you something that you can't figure out on your own.
Yeah, exactly. But
which is the other thing. I feel like there's probably just tons of con artists out there selling acting classes that are stupid expensive, and they don't know the first thing about it or anything that's going to actually help you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what I need to do is talk to the right people, and and then get an agent, and then that's how you get auditions. I was talking to an actor guy I freaking just happened to run into in Ellensburg, which is really random.
Yeah, this is one of those fake people we're just talking about.
Well, he's from Arizona, but he's visiting,
uh-huh.
And he could be lying. I don't know, but he was saying he's like, look, if you audition for 10 years, he's like, you're gonna get a role.
Well, for sure.
Yeah,
but getting a role, I suppose there's probably a difference between being famous and being a professional actor that can still pay their bills.
Yeah,
you can probably be an actor that gets a certain amount of roles where your bills are covered and you're just not famous, right?
Not balling, yeah.
Right. But it's like basketball players, the guys that play over in Australia or something. It's they're making money, but they're just not making millions and millions and millions of dollars. But they're just trying to get there.
Yeah.
So you could probably be an actor that gets roles enough to pay the bills, but at the same token, I don't really think that's anybody's real goal when they get into acting.
Yeah. Well, some people do it for the love of it.
Sure, but if that's the case,
theater.
Right.
But,
if that's the case, then you can do that anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. I think, it's a big break is what you need, because I was listening to a podcast earlier, and they were talking, but they're comedians, and they're talking about, their big break and what their moment was, and there's kind of, just an element of luck and timing, or however you want to look at it, just, land a role, and that happens to blow up to be freaking, Breaking Bad.
Right. What do you think is, what do you think you're going to be cast at? If you see yourself in a movie, who do you see yourself as? What kind of roles?
Comparing to an actor, or do you want me to compare to a character?
I guess you could do both.
Yeah. Well, obviously we play a dude, probably
I hope it's a dude.
Probably in the 20s. I don't know. I want to do more serious stuff, but I could definitely see myself going like Jim Carrey-esque.
Ooh.
That's bold.
That's pretty bold.
That's like top.
I mean, Jim Carrey's a nutbag, but like his versatility, if you like, because like he literally can do like so many voices and like facial expressions and stuff like that. Like he's really known for that crap. Like that's a big one.
Yeah, or like Johnny Depp maybe, because I feel like Johnny Depp does a lot of like characters like way outside that are like just freaking crazy characters, right?
Right, and he does. I mean, but he does funny. Like he does funny while he's being serious. Like I mean, I guess the first thing that jumps to mind is like Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like he's like never trying to be funny, but he's funny the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. And he just does like kind of out of whack characters like that, which is cool. But I also want to be serious, kind of be like, I don't know, like Matt Damon.
Ooh.
Born.
I was thinking of what's the one where he's like super smart? Good Will Hunting.
Good housekeeping.
Good housekeeping. It's because he was a janitor. Interesting. Have you ever like tried to like film yourself doing some kind of a role?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you do it well?
I mean, yeah.
Because we do like training videos and stuff for work, and I have to like film for it, and what you think you look like and what you actually look like, the emotions that you're displaying, it's amazing how more like drastic you have to be to show that like emotion or like that movement. Like you don't feel like you have to do very much or like you show very much, but it looks like nothing if you don't go like really exaggerating and you feel stupid doing it.
Yeah. I think I do it better if there's someone there. Like I'm like doing it to a person rather than a camera, because then it's like I'm trying to fool that person, and in my head it's easier to like fool a person than a camera, kind of. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it does make sense because when I do stuff, it's just a camera, and all I can think about is watching myself and how stupid it looks. I'm just like, this probably looks so dumb.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, obviously, I have work to do, and then like I will need probably a coach or something.
Yeah.
But unless I'm fucking getting the Chris Pratt look,
I mean, that's like hitting the Powerball. I feel like.
Yeah. No doubt.
Out there.
And like John Hamm, the actor.
What's he in?
Tag.
Okay.
You've seen him?
Yeah.
He's the stud businessman guy, like super rich business guy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a teacher. He was like teaching high school, and he was like, screw it, I'm gonna give it a shot. And now he's just fucking huge.
Well, like Mr. Chow, he was
a doctor.
He was a doctor before.
Yeah.
And then he did the same thing. He just said like, screw it.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's. Do you imagine just fuck all my school and a doctor? Yeah.
You could have been a doctor. We were so proud.
Yeah.
And you just quit your job that pays well to hopefully become an actor.
Yeah.
And then they see him in the role of Mr. Chow with his tiny dick on camera. And they're like, that's my boy. That's my boy. Right there.
He's got the shiitake mushroom in it.
Hiding in a field of shrubs.
Yeah. Oh, shit, that's great. All right. Boom. Cover advice. Pretty well, I think.
Okay.
Next up, what we're going to talk about is like growing up together. And, But yeah, as you were saying earlier, like we have such a big age difference. It's 10 years. So I'm 23. You're 33.
Yeah.
And so it was different, like role of a brother.
Yeah, it was. Well, like when you were younger, especially, it was like Barrett was in the middle, so it was like almost like a I don't know, mediator between the two of you, because like he would beat up on you, or not really beat up on you, but like it was easier for him to kind of be like the annoying brother. You were the annoying brother to him, and it's just like, and he was the annoying brother to me, and so like it's like I skipped over him to be like, don't pick on the little kid kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just kind of like. You said almost like a father-ish type of a role, just because it was like more protective than anything. And now that you're older, once you hit like 21, now it's like we can just like hang out like normal brothers. It feels like
like adults.
Yeah.
Well,
try to be adults.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And and we're gonna talk about some stories about growing up together, and one that like. I don't know why I just remembered because like you got your truck, your shitty old green truck, just an absolute unit, like, weighed a half a ton.
Yeah.
And then there's like this bump in the road, and you're like, all right, let's see if we can get some air off it.
You're talking about it's by like the cemetery in England.
Yeah. And you just fucking floor it. And we just hit the bump, and we're just like in the air, and just boom.
So also that truck had a lot of garbage in the back because it's like driving around as a kid or like that age, like you finish the soda and just like chuck in the back or like go to Jack. Everybody does it.
No.
Yeah, the cool kids did it. I guess you probably would know about that.
Yeah, well,
so there was like shit in the back of the truck, and I remember like going up, and it was like a movie where like they're like Boeing 747s to film outer space. You know, they drop and everything's suspended. Yeah. The freaking garbage is like sitting above. I can see it in the rear view mirror, just like floating. Yeah. And then we slam down, and the tailpipe of the truck like hits the ground. Sparks are flying. It was like squirrely coming out of it. I never did it again. That was scary.
Dude, I don't know why, but I felt like we were in the air for 5 seconds. Because I remember like my feet like coming up. It was like zero gravity.
Yeah. No, I remember that for sure because I'd done it one time before. Because I think the speed limit was like 40 or 45 or something like that. And so I was going like maybe like 55 and like got a little bit. But we were going like 75 or 80 at that time. So like we were sending it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably a good thing that Mom didn't know about that. Because you had to have been, I got rid of that truck when I was like 18-ish, I think.
You only had it for 2 years?
I think so. Because at 18 I got the Jeep.
Oh, the Jeep.
Because I got in a car accident.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I only had it for 2 years. So I was like, yeah, you had to be, what, 7 or 8?
I was that young. Fuck.
Yeah, so that was probably not smart.
Yeah, that's like, imagine if you landed like sideways, we're dead.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not going to be good.
No, but we didn't, so. A little zero gravity action.
Good times. What's that truck?
And then I want to talk about Wormy.
Wormy?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get a drink. Wormy. I was actually thinking like.
Not sponsored by Starbucks.
Are today.
Not yet.
That was the story that came into my mind because you used to whip that thing around like a freaking medieval, like, what are those things called? They had the chain and the spike on them.
Oh, I don't know, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like, and just crack people in the head, like any variant.
Yeah, so this Wormy is, I called it Wormy. I was like, how old was
I
that?
think it's called a worm, but
Yeah.
you're like 2 years old, you called it Wormy.
Yeah, either way. It's a worm, and it had like a battery pack in the head, and I don't know what it did with that.
You could like pull the back of it, and it like scrunched up and would like move.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
I don't know why I like this so much.
I'll take one right now.
They still make those?
Yeah, so there's a battery pack in the head, and I was young, and I would just whip it around, just beat the shit out of my brothers, and they couldn't do anything. I was so young.
Yeah, that thing sucked. I think we hid it from you at one point. Because Mom would have never we'd always tell Mom to like tell you to stop or something, like kids do. Well, mostly parent, because I feel like that's who you beat up with it the most. but like we just end up hiding it because she wouldn't take it away from you.
You can't freaking take Thor's
Oh my God, there it is.
hammer away. Oh my God. Ew.
I know.
Holy shit. This is sick. So yeah, that head
that thing is solid. It's the real deal.
Just cracking
Holy
these
shit.
fools.
How do you still have that?
Yeah.
I got all kinds of stuff saved.
Nasty. But yeah, so there's that. That's funny. All right. So what we weren't sure about, what we want to talk about, that was a terrible sentence, is dating advice. And because he watched a previous podcast where I was talking about dating advice for like my generation, it's like all internet electrical. It's not like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that and like, I don't know. I feel like I almost want to like watch that video back because I literally was just like laughing to myself about how like you guys were talking about approaching like girls or like responding to girls and stuff like that. And I was just thinking like, you guys just sound like a bunch of pussies.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
I don't remember exactly what you guys were saying. Man, I mean, here's the thing. I'm married with 3 kids. So like I have been out of the game for a while. So if I had to do it right now, can I say that I'm going to do it like a whole bunch better? No, probably not.
No shot.
No. But the thing is like the way you guys talked about it was like just very like timid. Like, like, well, maybe this, maybe that. It's like you just have to be like confident. I think girls like confidence more than anything.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. But you guys were like tiptoeing around like you're freaking
But I think it's more relatable for people because it's like how it really is for most people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like fucking that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. That was very unclear. It's, I don't know, that stuff.
Like being timid, like what you're saying, like not having a lot of confidence, being like scared to like approach a girl or whatever.
Well, I'm not saying it's easy necessarily, but like you just have to do it.
Well, I
What's
know.
the worst that's gonna happen?
Yeah, I mean, you get rejected, but people.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you do.
Yeah, sometimes, man.
That's what happens when you try to get acting roles as a girl.
I grew the hair out for nothing.
Yeah. Speaking of, that's what we should talk about. When are you going to cut that shit?
You don't like this?
I don't know. I feel like your age is starting to get catching up with the hairstyle. Like, you know, in high school.
I'm 23. What do you mean?
Yeah. Are you trying to enter a professional world or what?
Yeah, well, thought about it.
It's like you heard that. Who sang that song? That whip my hair back and forth. And you just thought, you know what? I need my hair long so I can play this song for the rest of my life and just like live it.
That's my alarm clock.
Yeah, you just spring on the bed and you're just whipping your
My
hair.
neck fucking hurts.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know why. What's wrong with having long hair? It's not professional.
No.
Then why do you bring into the professional?
No, I'm
world?
saying no. It's not like that. I mean, it's not that you can't. I don't know. It's just like it seems like you've had it for so long. At this point, you're like it's like you're so committed to it. Like you can't cut. Like you can't cut it. Like in high school, for me in high school, like you know the whole like Bieber haircut was like a thing, if you will, or growing out your hair.
Yeah.
And but like nobody like you grew it out. You had it like that for a little while. You cut it. But like when you've had your hair as long as you had for like when was the last time you had it short?
Well, I had Justin Bieber hair in high school. Like truly short, I was like 7th grade.
So it's like you don't even like. I don't know. I feel like you're never gonna cut your hair.
Here's
now.
the thing. It's like a part of my brand. You know what I'm saying? Like people know me as the guy with long hair. So, like, I'm not even joking. Like
you walk around campus and
Yeah.
it's just like in a corner of the eye they see long hair.
yeah, no, yeah.
Like,
They're
oh, sorry, Sarah. I thought you were Terry.
A lot of people call me Jesus because that's why I go with Halloween. It's like, oh, hey, Jesus. Like, I was walking around.
Yeah.
And then, but either way, and I don't know what I'm going to look like with short hair. What if I'm just a fucking piece of shit with short hair? So I'm scared.
Then nothing would change. It'd be just like it is now.
Yeah, and like, fuck. If a place doesn't want to hire me because I have long hair, then I don't want
I
to.
don't think you would like not get hired because you didn't have long hair, but I'm trying to think because I do a lot of the interviewing, or at least I did, and I definitely have hired people with long hair before. Or I know a guy specifically just mine that had long hair, but my first thought was like this guy was like more rough. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a sales position, so it's I mean it's like you got to be somewhat professional, but like. I was thinking he would have a hard time in front of people with like first impressions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's like tattoos. Like tons of people get hired with tattoos now. Right? Like I have a tattoo. It's not a big deal. But when you have like full arm sleeves, like you can't help but people make a judgment that's now not in your control.
Yeah.
So like for me, if people that know me, I'm all about like I like to have the control over what people think about me. So like to have stuff like long hair or tattoos that are visible, like things of that nature. Like I don't want people to be able to make a judgment about me or whatever it is I'm saying based on something that like I don't have control over anymore because it's just there.
Yeah. When people think I'm like a huge stoner and hippie.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm not. But I also love proving people wrong. So I like when people like put me somewhere and then I'm just like not that at all.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I think if as long as you're going to get an interview and talking to somebody, you're going to be able to convey or show them that you're not really that person. Yeah. But in order to prove somebody wrong, like you said, you have to be given the shot to prove them wrong.
Yeah. And I think even if I was going to go into acting, like having long hair kind of sets me up in like a different echelon, if you will.
Yeah, I have no idea if probably, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just like a different look. Like not like the guys have long hair. You know what I'm saying?
Tall, white, blue eyes. not many of those.
Yeah, pretty much. But
gotta have the long hair.
Yeah, I gotta separate myself somehow.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. But eventually, yes, I'll cut it. I mean, I don't know when Doomsday will be.
What if it was like an acting role, but it wasn't paying very well? Like it was just like it's your first opportunity. They're like, we really like you, but you need to cut your hair, and you're gonna get like $750 for this.
Okay, all right.
You do it?
Oh yeah.
Man, that's commitment.
All right, do whatever it takes.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So you went to New Zealand for like a year.
Yeah.
And had like the best time of your life.
Absolutely.
And now you've told millions of stories about New Zealand, and honestly, I want to go just because it's like I feel like if I go, like I'm just gonna have some legendary stories. So
it's hard not to go with friends. But yeah.
Well, yeah. So if you want to tell some stories that are
not
incriminating.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously there's a ton of them, but I guess one that jumps out in my mind real quick is like, so we kind of had like this a bet, but it wasn't really a bet because there was money on it or anything. It was just kind of like a gentleman's bet, if you will, to see who was going to like hook up with the girl first while we were there, because we were there for a year. And I went with 3 other buddies of mine, obviously, and the thing was that they had to be better than a 7. So like that alone probably ruined the chances of anybody actually like getting it, because we probably would have all just been like, oh, no, that wasn't a 7.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to like give it away. So we got to Wellington and we got jobs at this brewery bar. And we were there for, I don't know, a couple weeks or so. And this other girl like started like right around the same time. And after work, we used to do this thing called staffies. So it was a brewery bar, and as long as the manager would stay, we could sit and drink beer, as much free beer as we wanted. We just had to like mark it down.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point of like, there's like some nights that there's like guys that were there till like 6 in the morning, and like the owners of the bar were walking down the dock to open the bar, and they're like still in there drinking, which was, you know, approaching getting frowned upon there. But anyways, so we're like at staffies, and one of this girl that I worked with, we like go into the stairwell up to where like the offices are, and we end up hooking up. And she was gonna come back to, at this time we were still staying in a hostel, and so it's like me and my 3 other buddies like all in one room, like 2 bunk beds in this room. I didn't really want her to come back with me because we're still sleeping in bunk beds, and I wanted the bed to myself.
Yeah.
So she like went down the stairs and like back into the bar, and I basically, as soon as she was out of sight of me, I just booked it outside, and I ran a block to get around the building so that she couldn't see me anymore when she came out.
What time is this at?
This has got to be like 3 in the morning.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so I leave, and I just didn't think anything of it. Go back to the hostel, and go to bed, and I wake up in the morning to her leaving our hostel room from the bed of one of my buddies, and I'm just thinking, what the fuck just happened? Like, I was like literally baffled. Well, it turns out she went home with him after she hooked up with me, and apparently in the middle of giving him like a beach, she's like, hey, I just have to be honest with you, like, I hooked up with Randy earlier tonight, and he was like, dude, talk about the ultimate mood killer. Like, just shut it down, I guess, right there. They went to bed.
Oh, no.
It's brutal.
Yeah, this girl's just getting passed around, and she's just trying to make her rounds in the hospital or what?
What's funny is she ended up being like a really good friend of ours afterwards. Yeah, and we like I ended up telling her the story about how we ditched her, or I tried to ditch her.
How'd you feel about that?
She actually just laughed at it, I think.
I think that's...
She was like, honestly, she's really, really nice and super cool.
Yeah. I just imagine you just like running down a block at 3 a.m. like fuck.
Like,
People,
as if I'm getting chased by somebody with a gun.
yeah, people think you like stole something.
Yeah.
Just trying to get caught by this girl.
Because there's like this, right next to the brewery bar, there was this museum. So it was like wide open parking lot. It wasn't like there was like, you step outside and just like this little block around the corner. Like, no, it was like wide open parking lot. So you had to go for some distance. Yeah.
Just the 40-yard dash.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was Usain Bolt, man.
What a weird thing to do, just to ditch a girl like that.
Yeah, because I knew if she came out and saw me, she'd be like, "Oh, wait for me," and so
starts running after you.
Yeah, so I just like had to get out of sight, man.
And how do you even fit in a bunk bed? First of all,
Yeah, yeah. So I'm 6'5", if you don't know. But yeah, it was rough, man. It was definitely rough. I mean, what's funny is that when we actually got an apartment, it was a 2-bedroom apartment, and there was 4 of us living in it. And so one guy was in a twin bed, another guy was in a like queen bed with like a mattress on the floor, and the other guy's there. I took the couch cushions off of the couch that came with the place and laid them in a row on the floor and put like a couple like blankets over that, and that's what I slept on. That was my mattress.
That place had to be a shithole.
It was not. Yeah, it was not nice.
No, I bet. Yeah.
No.
Didn't one time you had so little money? One time you ate water and flour.
Yeah, so
I cracked me up every day.
I got fired from. I quit. I was working 2 jobs, and I was working as a maintenance guy at the hostel that we used to stay at, which I didn't know anything about maintenance. I'm still to this day don't know how I got that job. I literally like went to fix a dryer one time by putting like stuffing paper into the sensor so that like when you shut the lid, it would actually engage it. And then,
like MacGyver.
Oh yeah, totally. I was like, oh man, this button that would like as you shut the lid would push it down to like engage it to start, right? Yeah. Well, somehow it got like messed up where it wouldn't like actually go all the way down. So I just like stuffed some more stuff in there to get it down, and they just saw I was like genius. Like, oh, you fixed it? Like, yeah, good as new.
Right.
Yeah. So I was working like 2 jobs. I quit that, and I was working a function at the bar, and we used to always drink while we did the functions, even though we weren't supposed to. Well, I got caught, ended up getting fired from that, and I just quit the other job, so now I'm like, don't have a job at all. And a couple of my buddies were in Australia at the time for a few weeks, and I was too proud to like ask for help of any sort, so I didn't have any money. There was like no food in the house because there really wasn't anybody there at the time, and all that was left was flour, and so I'd mix flour and water together and put it in the oven, and then I would go to that hostel that I quit from and steal the jelly packets, like the ones that you get like at McDonald's or like a restaurant, you know? Yeah. So like that I could put jelly on them.
Oh my god.
It was bad.
Just survivor, man.
Yeah. It was brutal. Now I did that for probably like, to that level, that was like 3 or 4 days. That's all I ate.
So I think say 3 or 4 weeks.
No, it was like 3 or 4 days. And I don't really remember what I did to get out of it or how I like pulled myself out of it as far as like getting some money.
Work the street corner?
No, but I would have fucking sold the shit out of it. You hear what I'm saying? No, I think I started working for a guy doing landscaping, and he was a nutbag. The only thing that was cool is that we would go surfing all the time. When I say surfing, he would go surfing, and I would just like fall because he had like short boards. And I'm like 6'5", this guy's like 5'7", and he's like a good surfer. I'm like, dude, I don't know what the frick I'm doing. Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
Good times.
All right. Last thing on the docket. Well, it's not really like, I don't know. I just wrote roast each other just because I feel like
we already did that throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So we just fucking make fun of each other all the time. That's just kind of like just a go-to. Yeah,
it's funny because like, you know, I live in Texas now, and I always say to guys like, hey, if I make fun of you, that's a good thing. That means I like you. And I don't know if it's a Washington thing.
No, it's not. It's like a New York thing, I feel like.
Yeah? Well, we're not from New York, so that doesn't make any sense.
I know. That's why it doesn't work here.
Because, like, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, people get it for the most part, but it's definitely not, like, the norm.
Yeah.
And, like, to me, I'm like, that's just how I grew up. Like, me and my brother, like, we used to always just give each other a hard time, and our mom, like, the most. Like, my wife's mom, I give her a hard time. Like, I would give mom a hard time. And for, like, the longest time, she took it really personal and thought, like, I didn't like her. And
classic.
It took my wife, like, explain to her, like, no, that's, like, his love language. That, like, means he likes you.
Oh, yeah. Fucking, I hear you. Like, one of my girlfriends, I would just fucking roast her all the time. Just because that's just what I'm used to. And she did not like it.
Yeah.
And she just, like, couldn't wrap her head around that, like, I wasn't serious.
Yeah. My wife is right over here, and I would say that she went through a period of time of having to adjust to that as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like making fun of somebody, but not to be mean.
Yeah.
You know, it's just funny.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time with, like, if there's something funny in my head, it just comes out. I can't hold it back. It's really hard. I'll be meeting with the owner of my company, and he'll say stuff, and I'll just have like a smirk on my face, and I'm trying to hold it back so bad, and he'll be like, "What?
Yeah.
Just say it." And then I'll just have to I'll tell him, and he just starts laughing. But it's impossible. It's hard.
You gotta have that self-control.
I don't have it.
I guess not. We're playing the NFL right now, bro.
We're on the D line, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it, huh? I think we put in some good time. It's probably decent long.
I feel like it's all right.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, Randy. Thanks for flying up for this podcast.
Yeah, thanks for the trip, man.
Yeah. All right. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Like the video. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. And we'll see you next time.